My name is Meg Tallydyer, and I'm the chairman of the NBIA Disorders Association Board of Trustees. Although I'm sorry not to be physically there with you today, I'm thankful for the technology that allows me to be there virtually. Before I share the ways this organization has impacted my family, I'll share a little bit about how we got there. I imagine many of you relate to this story. I am a highly driven, highly energetic woman with an independent spirit and a love for life. My mom loves to tell anyone who will listen that from the moment I could crawl, I was running away and dancing to the beat of my own drum. It's taken strength, courage, and a lot of tenacity to be the mama bear I needed to be for my daughter. She is 7 years old now and is the light of my life. She is quite possibly the most charismatic person I've ever met and is filled with a love for life and adventure. I mean, really, this kid loves roller coasters. She's quick to tell you when she wants something, especially when you're not delivering. She has an incredible desire to be heard and always has a story to tell. However much she wants to say, her primary source of frustration is the inability to be heard. No, inability to be understood. For anyone that knows her, knows it's impossible not to hear Dylan, who does not have an inside voice. Since she does not communicate like other kids her age, she is learning to use an augmentative communication device or an iPad with a special program to help us understand her needs and wants. Like many of you, our days are just beginning when we get home from a long, stressful day at work. Dinner, medicine, bath time, hopefully just a couple of tantrums if we're lucky, and of course a few stories and cuddles. We look forward to chaotic weekends where we've often been found at a splash pad chasing Dylan, at the park chasing Dylan, grocery shopping chasing Dylan. Well, you get the idea. Or at endless playdates and birthday parties. But 4 years ago, it was a very different story. Dylan had been suffering from seizures, aggressive behaviors, and was severely behind developmentally. And we had no idea why. Although I knew something was wrong, the doctors kept minimizing these episodes and left me feeling like I might be crazy. After 2 years of searching, we finally found a doctor who agreed with me, and the new chapter in our lives began. Within 6 months of meeting Dylan's new team of doctors, combined with a breakthrough in mass market access to the whole exome test, we learned that Dylan has BPAN. We were in shock. What the heck is Beta-Propeller protein-associated neurodegeneration? I could barely say it, let alone spell it. Our doctor knew basically nothing about this disease, but offered to do more reading and get back to us. Ever impatient, we did what all stupid parents do, and we went right to Google, which was a very, very bad call. I'd entered a panicked crisis mode. I'm sure many of you can relate. So there were a few research papers which at that point read like a foreign language. What I could understand was terrifying. There was also this organization, a beacon of light, offering support to families and a mission to end NBIA. I immediately emailed the writer of the research paper and the president of the NBIA Disorders Association. And frankly, I wasn't really expecting to hear from either. But incredibly, I heard from both within hours. I was amazed at the support and encouragement in that first conversation. So here we were, completely inundated with information about Dylan's current and potential future, which was terrifying. It was overwhelming, and it was bending us with the immense weight and countless next steps that we needed to take. The NBIA Disorders Association provided to be that beacon we were looking for, a guide helping us to navigate the emotions and thoughts going through our minds, providing answers to the questions we didn't even know we had yet. The amount of information I was able to find on the website was amazing. I learned there were, at the time, 50 other families whose children had BPAN. It was incredible that after so long feeling alone in this journey, there were others that we could meet. And more exciting was the upcoming family conference. How amazing to not just talk to other families, but to meet them and to learn directly from researchers about the important work being done to help all those affected by NBIA. So in May 2015, we went to Minneapolis from Phoenix to attend the 8th International Family Conference. We met with researchers involved with NBIA, who you're probably seeing today, who have studied this group of diseases and actually know what we're talking about. We felt empowered to actually make a difference in her daunting future because of the exciting research happening for this rare and largely unknown disease. We were able to provide answers and information to these researchers, working to help them build a natural history of BPAN. We also provided tissue samples that, come to discover later, were shipped overseas as part of ongoing clinical drug research. How cool is that? I mean, really. Without the association bringing these doctors and researchers to a central location, I doubt we would have been able to connect with these amazing people who had made it their life goal to investigate and discover treatments for these devastating diseases. It wasn't only connections made to these researchers who understood Dylan's medical complications that helped us no longer feel alone in this fight. We were also able to connect with other families and have made lifelong friends. Dylan met Anna, another girl with BPAN who's there with you today, and connected with her like she'd never connected with other children. I couldn't hold back the tears after the picnic as I watched the two of them run through a grassy field, laughing and screaming and playing and just having fun and enjoying every moment the way all kids should. These experiences we had that weekend and the ones that you are all having now are invaluable. During that first conference, we learned about an exciting mouse model, an expensive effort that would help researchers across the world to better understand BPAN and its effects on our children. Unfortunately, they were at a crossroads and found themselves needing $40,000 more to fully fund this important project. I mean, this was incredible to me. $40,000 is a lot of money. We could raise that. If we rallied together, we could do anything for the sake of our children. So we spent time talking to the development director about ways we could raise this money and fast. We got right to work, and before even leaving the conference, we had created and started promoting our new First Giving pages through social media. Each of the NBIA disorders had their rallying cry, and the BPAN focus was our expensive little mouse. Within the year, we were able to bring up enough money together for the BPAN researchers to write the grant request to the NBIA Disorders Association so they could continue their hard work and tireless effort in fighting this fight. And of course, fundraising is important, not just for medical research, but also to fund critical family support like these conferences. Bringing all these families and researchers together is worth every dime spent, but those dimes have to be raised. And thank you to each and every one of you who have worked so hard to raise money for these important efforts. I'm sure most of you relate to how shocking this diagnosis was for us and how overwhelmed I was with the desire to help my child. And what I realized, especially after that first conference, was that I wasn't alone. There are so many of us, and together we can make a difference if we just work as a team, because together we're mighty. So as a professional with a lot of experience working with boards, I began sharing ideas with the board members, and apparently my enthusiasm, sometimes unbridled, was clear. And eventually I was asked to join the board of trustees, and of course I accepted. What an incredible opportunity to learn more, to do more for Dylan and for all of those affected by NBIA. I've learned about the work that we do to provide families with information and a sense of community, the ways that we're supporting funding for critical work, and interestingly, how we review research proposals and grant funds for new and important work. Although our perspective on life has certainly changed, we've come to appreciate Dylan in a whole new way. Dylan is still my sweet, charismatic, loud little girl, trying desperately to be understood. And I'm still the mama bear, fighting for her every single need. But I'm also the friend. I'm here to support recently diagnosed individuals and families facing their new reality. and the board member channeling my passion to end these horrible diseases. So there is hope. The work being done by the association, which funds critical research and supports families like all of us, is exactly what we keep fighting for. So now I find myself so aware and grateful for every moment that we have with Dylan and with families like you. And where I was the little girl dancing to the beat of my own drum, now instead of alone, we all can dance together. Team NBIA.